Bell's method calculates the shell side heat transfer coefficient and pressure drop considering the effect of leakage and bypassing and the use of sealing strips. Therefore, the approach adopted by the Bell's method gives more satisfactory prediction of the heat transfer coefficient and the pressure drop as compared to the Kern's method. Heat transfer coefficient for tube side same as discussed in the Kern's method, but the shell side heat transfer coefficient is computed using the Bell's method, which gives more accurate results. So how to calculate heat transfer coefficient using Bell's method? So this is the simple equation by which we can calculate the original heat transfer coefficient for the shell side is equal to, this is the ideal heat transfer coefficient and multiply by the different correction factors. This is the ideal cross flow coefficient. This is the ideal cross flow heat transfer coefficient. Now JC is the correction factor for the buffel cut and spacing. JL is the correction factor for the buffel leakage effect. JB is the correction factor for the bundle bypassing effect. JS is the correction factor for the variable buffel spacing at the inlet and outlet, and JR is the shell side correction factor for the different value of the Reynolds number. The first one is to how to find out the value of the ideal cross flow coefficient. So as we have discussed, ideal heat transfer coefficient for the pure cross flow in an ideal tube bank, and it is calculated by using this equation. By not considering any other factor, we can calculate ideal cross flow coefficient just by using this equation, where value of this Ji can be calculated by different graphs. So Ji is the Colburn J factor for an ideal tube bank, and S stands for the shell. As is the cross flow area, as we have discussed in our previous slide, at the center line of the shell for one cross flow between two buffels. So graphs are available to calculate the value of Gi as a function of shell side Reynolds number. So from the value of different Reynolds number and the and the ratio of pitch to diameter, this is Pt by d, which is the ratio of pitch to diameter for the different layout. This is for the triangle layout for 30 degree. You can calculate the value of from the Reynolds number. You can get the value of J factor, as well as you can get the value of friction factor also to find out the pressure drop for at the shell side. For 45 degree, this is the another graph, and as of same for 90 degree, this is the graph from where you can get the value of J and the friction factor to calculate the value of heat transfer coefficient as well as the pressure drop. Now, what are the different correction factor and what are the values of this correction factor? So JC is the correction factor for the buffel cut and the spacing. This factor takes into account the heat transfer in the window and calculates the overall average heat transfer coefficient for the entire heat exchanger. It depends on the shell diameter and the buffel cut distance from the buffel tip, the shell inside diameter. So for large buffel cut, this value may decrease to a value of 0.53, and it is equal to 1 for a heat exchanger with no tubes in the window. Okay, so there is one type of heat exchanger where there is a no tube in the window. So for that type of heat exchanger, the value would be 1. Otherwise, it is ranges from 0.53 to the 1. It may increase to value as high as 1.15 for a small window with high window velocity. Next one is JL, which is correction factor for the buffel leakage effect. So it is a correct correlation, sorry, it is not a correction factor, it is a correlation factor. So JL is a correlation factor for the buffel leakage effects, including tube to buffel and shell to buffel leakage, A and E stream, as shown in this figure, A and E stream. If the buffels are put too close together, then the fraction of the flow in the leakage stream increases compared with the cross flow. So JL is a function of the ratio of total leakage area per buffel to cross flow area between the adjacent buffels, and also the ratio of the shell to buffel leakage area to the tube to buffel leakage area. The value of GL is in the range of 0.7 and the 0.8. Next one is the JB, which is a co-reaction factor for bundle bypassing effect. Here we have already discussed what is bundle bypass effect, which is a stream C and F. So correction factor for the bundle bypassing effect due to the clearance between the outermost tubes and the shell and pass dividers. For relatively small clearance between the outermost tube and the shell for the fixed tube sheet construction, the value of JB is nearly equal to 0.90. And for pull through floating head, larger clearance is required. JB would be nearly 0.7. The shelling strip can be increased the value of JB. JS, which is the correction factor for the variable Buffel spacing at the inlet and the outlet. Because of the nozzle spacing at the inlet and outlet and the changes in local velocity, the average heat transfer coefficient on the cell side will change. So the JS value will usually between the 0.85 and the 1. At last, the JR, which applies the shell side Reynolds number when it is less than 100. If the Reynolds number is less than 20, it is full effective, and this factor is value of this factor is 1 if the Reynolds number is greater than 100. The combined effect of all the correction factor, for the reasonable, well-designed shell and tube heat exchanger is of order 0.60. So you have to just multiply by 60% or multiply 0.60 to the ideal heat transfer coefficient, and you will get the heat transfer coefficient for the shell side. So this is the Bell-Delaware method, which is more accurate as compared to the Kunz method. Now we are going to discuss different numericals based on the shell and tube heat exchanger design. A heat exchanger is to be designed to heat raw water by use of condensed water at 67 degrees Celsius at 0.2 bar, which will flow in the shell side with mass flow rate of 50,000 kg per hour. The heat will transfer to 30,000 kg per hour of city water coming from supply at 17 degrees Celsius. So this is obviously the cold water. Water outlet temperature should not be less than 40 degrees Celsius. A fouling resistance of 0.000176 meter square Kelvin per watt is suggested. Calculate the overall heat transfer coefficient for fouled as well as for the clean surface and the length of the tube for 2-pass shell and tube heat exchanger using Kunz method, and use following specification and correlation. So these are the specification and correlations which are given for the shell side as well as tube side: the outer diameter, inner diameter, number of tubes, the tube layout, which is a square pitch, conductivity, the relation of Nusselt, Reynolds and Prandtl for the tube side, relation for the friction factor and the Reynolds number, the shell diameter, pitch size, Buffel spacing and Nusselt relation for the shell side, and the different properties of the fluid: density, specific heat, viscosity, conductivity and Prandtl number, and the viscosity at the wall temperature. So the first step is to calculate the shell side heat transfer coefficient. So to calculate shell side heat transfer coefficient, we have this relation which is already mentioned in the data. So for this we need to first find out the value of this effective diameter. So we know for the square pitch we can use this equation to find out the value of D. So by putting the value in this equation, we know the value of PT, which is a pitch, which is 0.025. We know the value of diameter, which is 19 mm, so 0.019. By solving this equation, we will get the value of diameter, which is 0.0242 meter. Now, if we want to calculate further values of G, we need the value of this clearance. So we know that the clearance would be the pitch minus the diameter. So we get the value of clearance, which is 0.0064. Now to calculate the value of cross flow area, we know that we have understand how to calculate the cross flow area in Kunz method in our previous slides, in our previous lecture, that ds, the diameter of the shell, this is the clearance, divided by pitch into B, this is the Buffel spacing. So by doing this, we can get the maximum cross flow area which is available for the shell side fluid at the center of the heat exchanger. So putting the value of ds, we know the diameter of the shell, which is 0.39, clearance value, which is 0.0064 meter, Buffel spacing is already given, which is 0.2 meter, and the pitch is 0.025. So by solving this value, we will get the cross flow area, free flow area, which is 0.0197 meter square. Now from this we can get the value of the flow mass velocity, which is mass flow rate divided by area. So this is the velocity. We know the value of mass flow rate, which is 50,000 kg per hour. So we have to divide by 3600 to convert into meter per second. and this is the area which we have just calculated, which is 0.0197 meter square. Now from this value we can easily calculate the value of Reynolds number by using this equation GD by mu. We know the value of viscosity, which is already mentioned in data. So by solving this equation we will get the value of Reynolds number. Now in this equation, putting all the value, we will get value of this Nusselt number HD by K. So putting all the value in this equation, we know the value of conductivity which is mentioned in question. We know the value of this viscosity at the wall at the mean temperature. So by putting all the value, we will get the value of Nusselt number as 161.88. Now from this value we can easily calculate value of heat transfer coefficient by multiplying it by K and dividing by D. We will get 4361.3 watt per meter square Kelvin. This is the value of H, which is a value of heat transfer coefficient at the shell side. Now we have to calculate the tube side heat transfer coefficient. For that we have this two relation which is mentioned in the data. In this relation there is a Reynolds number. So first we need to find out value of Reynolds number at the tube side. So for the tube we need to find out the Reynolds number. So for that we need velocity. So for that we first need cross-sectional area which is available for the fluid to flow in the tube, which is pi by 4 d square into NT by 2 for the 2 passes. So we will get the area which is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 2 meter square. Now from this value we can easily get the velocity, which is mass flow rate is equal to rho AV, rho A velocity. So U is equal to mass flow rate divided by density into area. We know the mass flow rate for the tube side fluid, which is 30,000 kg per hour. This is the density which is mentioned in question. This is the area. Now from this we will get the velocity at the tube, which is 0.67 meter per second. Now from this velocity we can easily calculate the Reynolds number at the tube side, which is rho dV by mu. Putting the value of density inside diameter of the tube, which is 0.016 meter, and the viscosity, we will get the Reynolds number at the tube side. Now from this Reynolds number, putting in this equation, we will get the value of friction factor, which is 0.00731. Now putting the value of F and Reynolds number in this equation and Prandtl number, which is given in data, we will get the value of this Nusselt number, which is 94.06. Now from the value of this Nusselt number we can easily calculate value of heat transfer coefficient H, so which will 3586.1 watt per meter square Kelvin. This is the heat transfer coefficient at the tube side. Now we can calculate the overall heat transfer coefficient for the both condition, fouled condition as well as the clean surface condition. So for the fouled condition, these are the resistance. This is the equation which we have already discussed in chapter number 1. So by putting all the values, we have the fouling resistance value, which is 0.00176, which is mentioned in the question. This is again fouling resistance. So we have put the fouling resistance. We know value of both the heat transfer coefficient HI and HO. So putting the value of HI and HO, cell side heat transfer coefficient as well as tube side heat transfer coefficient in this equation, we will get the fouled overall heat transfer coefficient, which is 1028.2 watt per meter square Kelvin. For the clean surface, it would be 1701.7 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay. So this is the answer of our first portion. Now we have to calculate the length of the tube. So for that we need to calculate the heat duty, which we can calculate from the mCp delta T, because we know the flow rate and the temperature of the inlet and outlet of the cold fluid. So mass flow rate is 30,000 divided by 360 for meter per second, 4179. 40 is the outlet temperature, 17 is the inlet temperature. So 801 is our heat duty, heat transfer rate. Now we can calculate the unknown temperature, outlet temperature of the hot water by using this equation. By using energy balance equation, we can calculate the outlet temperature, which is 53.2. Now we can easily, as we know all the 4 temperature, we can easily calculate the delta T or LMTD. So putting this equation, we will get 31.3 K. As there is a cross flow we can consider, so we have to multiply it with the correction factor. So for the correction factor, we are using this equation, as we have learned how to find out the value of F in our chapter number 2, that from the value of T and R we can, so by using value of T and R we can find out value of correction factor. So from here we will get correction factor as 0.95. So multiplying by 0.95, we will get the value of delta T, which is 29.8. Now we know this equation, Q is equal to UA delta T. So by using this equation, we can calculate the area of the heat exchanger, which would be 26.2 meters square. Now from this area, we can find out the length of the tube, because we know that the surface area of the one tube is pi dl, outer diameter. So we have number of tubes as 124. So we need length of one tube as a 3.54 meters. So this is the length of the tube. Moving on to the next numerical. Distilled water with flow rate of 50 kg per second enters a buffeted shell and tube heat exchanger at 32 degrees Celsius and leaves at 25 degrees Celsius. This is our TH1 and TH2. Heat will be transferred to 150 kg per second mass flow rate of water coming from a supply at 20 degrees Celsius. This is TC1. You are informed to design a heat exchanger for this purpose. A single shell and tube is preferable. The tube outer diameter and inner diameter are 19 mm and 16 mm. Tubes are laid out of 2.54 cm square pitch. Maximum length of the heat exchanger is 8 meter is required because of the space limitation. Assume K as a 42.3 watt per meter Kelvin and maximum flow velocity through the tube is 2 meter per second to prevent erosion. Also perform thermal analysis of heat exchanger using Bell-Delaware method using correction factor of 60%. The following correlations and properties may be used. So these are the data for the tube side and these are the data for the shell side. These are the correlation for the tube side and this is the correlation for the shell side. Okay. Here we will discuss both the method, Kunz method as well as the Bell-Delaware method. First we need to solve this problem. First we need to estimate the number of tubes. So from the mass flow rate we can easily calculate the number of tubes by using this equation. So from this equation, number of tubes would be mass flow rate divided by density into velocity into cross sectional area, which is pi by 4 d square. So by putting the value of mass flow rate, we know mass flow rate which is 150. Density which is mentioned in question for the tubes, internal diameter which is already mentioned, and the permissible velocity is 2 meter per second. So by using this value we will get the number of tubes approximated 374. Now flow area through the tubes is pi by 4 d square into number of tubes, so flow area would be 0.075 meter square. This is the flow area. Now estimate the shell diameter from the equation. We know in our previous lecture we have derived this equation to calculate the shell diameter. According to our configuration, the CTP would be 0.93 and for the square layout the CL would be layout constant would be 1. So putting the value in this equation, number of tubes 374, CL 1, this is the PR which is the pitch ratio, which is PT divided by diameter, pitch by diameter, the outer diameter 0.019, 0.785 into CTP, the value of CTP is 0.93. So we will get the shell diameter as a 575 mm. Now first we are going to find out the shell side heat transfer coefficient by Kunz method. So for the Kunz method we need the free cross flow area. So we know that we can find out by the diameter of the shell. So this is the diameter of the shell. From that, if we minus the number of tubes into outer diameter, so we will get the value of all the clearance. So all this clearance length and multiply by the width of, so that the space between these two buffels, it would be B buffel spacing. We would get the value of AS. So from this equation, number of tubes at the center would be the shell diameter divided by pitch, so it would be 22.83. So putting in this equation all the value, we will get the free flow area at the center, which is 0.073 meter square. Now the equivalent diameter can be calculated from the equation. So for the square pitch we know the equivalent diameter equation. So this is the equivalent diameter, which is 0.024 meter. Now we can easily calculate the Reynolds number by using this equation, mass flow rate divided by cross flow area, free flow area, equivalent diameter divided by viscosity. So putting all the value in this equation, we will get value of Reynolds number. Now from that Reynolds number and this correlation, we can easily find out value of HO, because we have the value of Prandtl number in the given data. So the HO would be 3793.6 watt per meter square according to Culls method. This is the shell side heat transfer coefficient. Now we are going to use Bell-Delaware method to find out the heat transfer coefficient at the shell side. So here for the shell side we have these two relation. So by using these two relation, we are going to find out the heat transfer coefficient at shell side. So first we need to find out the shell side Reynolds number, which is we can easily find out by using this equation 15967.8. The outer diameter mass flow rate divided by shell area divided by mu. Now we have this relation. Putting value of Reynolds number in this equation, we can get the value of this J factor. Now using this equation correlation, putting the value of J factor in this equation, specific heat we know, mass flow rate we know, the free flow area we have find out 0.073. This is conductivity, this is specific heat, and this is the viscosity which is given in question. So we will get 7382.8. This is the ideal heat transfer coefficient. Now we have to multiply it by the 60%, so that the 0.60. So this is the shell side heat transfer coefficient according to the Bell-Delaware method. Now this is up to the shell side heat transfer coefficient by the Culls method and Bell-Delaware method. Now for the tube side heat transfer coefficient, we know there is only one common method. First we need to find out the Reynolds number at the tube side, which is rho Vd by mu. We know all the value, so the Reynolds number would be 718.6. Now we have this two relation for the tube side. In this equation, if we put the value of Reynolds number, we will get the value of friction factor. Now putting value of friction factor, Reynolds number and Prandtl number in this equation, we will get the value of Nusselt number, which is 224.16. Now from that Nusselt number, we can easily find out value of heat transfer coefficient for the tube side. Now the overall heat transfer coefficient for the clean surface. So we have this equation for the overall heat transfer coefficient. In this equation, we know the value of both the heat transfer coefficient for the shell side and the tube side. Putting the value in this equation, we will get the value of overall heat transfer coefficient for the clean surface, which is 2445.5 watt per meter square Kelvin. Now the unknown temperature, we can find out value of unknown temperature by putting value in this equation, which is outlet temperature of the cold fluid, which is going to be 22.33 degrees Celsius. The LMTD, as we know the forward temperature, we can calculate the value of LMTD, which is 7.09. Now we can also calculate the heat transfer rate, which is 1462650 watt, and the area, which is we can calculate by UA delta T, which is 84.36 meters square. So this is how you can solve the numerical, which is based on the shell and tube heat exchanger. So that's it for today. Thank you so much.